Watch him flex down, chest down. His rear end stays back. He opens the window up like we talk about. He's unwinding from the middle out very nicely. That's like 6 inches before impact. So he's really not holding his chest back, that's for sure. His chest is unwinding.
Just watch the ball flight and just how low it comes.
My go-to swing thought is just turn left, rotate left. If I rotate, that face is going to be still, and it's going to slide a little right.
He's definitely using a lot of chest drive like you're talking about, but look how when he's moving those hands and he has a little pull there, it's systematic, and that right arm is moving under the left. And for so many, when we see the pull down, the club gets steep. His does not get steep. If anything, it's shallowing.
Look at the directionality of where his arms are going, the way they're pulling. It's this direction,
right? Not
this way.
Mm-hmm.
So watch that grip cap. See how it's following the red line more? It's not going down. Where when I see a lot of people pull down, I see them following that yellow line, and then the club goes tumbling out, steepening. He's got a little shift laterally. It's not a lot. He's got a very little shift of his lower half. His upper half really doesn't center or doesn't shift all that much. So his head stays pretty much on top of it. He's pretty stacked up. His upper half doesn't really move all that much off the ball. His lower half shifts a little early, but it's pretty much done shifting toward the trail side about there. And then it starts to recenter and move back. You can see it starts to really move back toward the left. But you can really see he's got a nice rotational motion. Chest turns through. It delivers that club nicely into the golf ball. Pretty simple action. I like his motion. I was actually quite surprised at some of the ball speed numbers I saw from him.
Yeah, he's a flusher.
Yeah, he hits it good.
I was just saying that drive on 17 to step up there and hit it on the green when everyone on that hole had been bailing it out right that whole day. That was pretty impressive. And I think he, like you said, he was right around like what, 173, 175.
I saw 177 twice out of him, and that's pretty good.
For a guy that's 5'7", he's hitting it almost as far as Scheffler, pretty much.
Yeah, he was knocking it past Hovland pretty much every hole. So,
yeah.
Hey, Milo, if you would, on that face on, if you guys notice that when he starts his backswing, he almost immediately starts to recenter his pelvis. But look how far the shirt buttons went to the right compared to his zipper. He gets rib sway. Like that person behind him is completely gone from what you see. So he's moved his chest to the right in a little bit of rib sway, but he's moved to the left so quickly that this perception is that his chest never moved to the right, but it actually did.
And relative to his pelvis, it definitely gets to the right by the top of his backswing because his pelvis is so early going back to the center.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to get into a little bit is grip. So I'm going to zoom in a little. So if we look at his grip, I would say that looks like 2.5 knuckles. So it's slightly strong. Whoops. But watch his wrist conditions through this motion. So as he changes directions here, he's got, if you look at what do his wrists look like there? Does he have extension in that lead wrist, the glove hand? And then as we change directions, do we still see the extension? He's not bowing his wrist, so he's basically keeping it pretty constant. So
That's
based on his
very clean golf swing.
Yeah, it's very simple.
But I like that transition where you can see the opposition, him landing a little left as his hands are still going up.
Yep.
One thing we're going to talk about later in this webinar is how to stop pulling down. Well, here's a guy who actually does pull down a little bit, but it's different than how most people pull down.
His left hip is starting to unwind, and that club head is still going down. So the sequence is very nice there. You know, it's a really good, simple golf swing. Yeah, he sequences it good. You can't make 177 ball speed out of a small frame without pretty darn good sequencing. So let's take a look at the down the line. He doesn't really have a pronounced trigger. There's probably something there if we really got to nitpicking. And if we could see him on a force plate, we would see there's probably a little rock go like most everybody has. The lines are very simple. You could see if we zoom in, that club face is pretty darn neutral. Wrist angles are pretty darn neutral. You know, it's very simple looking.
Trail arm is a little extra fold to it, just a little.
Yeah, the trail arm has maybe a little more fold than some. But then as he changes directions here, you know, that's a pretty cool move. You see him, watch him flex down, chest down. His rear end stays back. He opens the window up like we talk about. The club's right on his forearm. You can see the sequence is nice. His left side is already out of the way. You can see almost see his left pocket already. You can see his left leg. If the shutter speed was better, we'd get right to P6. You'd see his chest is square when he's at P6, shaft parallel to the ground. So he's unwinding from the middle out very nicely. And there we go. That's like 6 inches before impact. We still have a window open. We still have right arm bent. We can see if we zoom in, you can see down that back line, see the Puma logo on his back. So he's really not holding his chest back, that's for sure. His chest is unwinding. And there the ball's gone. Still has bend. That's 6 inches after impact probably. And there that club follows right around the arc beautifully.
Milo, if you go back to the top, this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier about how he pulls down. Because I mean, he doesn't really, I wouldn't say he flexes a ton. He definitely doesn't lower his pelvis and flex into his knees as much as, say, you. But he's definitely using a lot of chest drive like you're talking about. But look how when he's moving those hands and he has a little pull there, it's systematic, and that right arm is moving under the left. And for so many, when we see the pull down, the club gets steep. His does not get steep. If anything, it's shallowing. And that's,
well, when we look at the directionality of where his arms are going, the way they're pulling, it's this direction.
right.
Not, let me get a different color here. Not this way.
Mm-hmm.
So watch that grip cap. See how it's following the red line more? It's not going down. Where when I see a lot of people pull down, I see them following that yellow line, and then the club goes tumbling out, steepening.
Look at that right there, that left hip back. That's nice right there, that picture.
And that's a nice looking exit right there.
His coach, Schreiber, talks about how JJ used to be a skateboarder. He still can do some tricks, I guess. And he says his footwork is really, really good when they've gotten him on like Swing Catalyst or a force plate, and how he's able to use the ground. You can just see how even though he has a little, like, maybe a slight bit of jump in that left leg kind of through impact, it's back and away, and he's kind of carving the corner. You can think of like skateboarding maybe.
Yeah, if we look at his depth right there, he's not moving toward it.
Yeah. Can you go like 3 more frames, maybe 4 more frames? You can see he's a fader too, with how he go just a little bit more, maybe where we see his hands. You can see the palm of that left hand pointing at the target. So that left wrist, he's kept that pretty neutral, maybe even slightly extended, and now he's rehinging it more extended, pointing to the target. That keeps his face square to slightly open feeling throughout. It will roll, but that helps him hit that little trustworthy fade, right?
Yep. Yeah, everything he does, the way his upper body moves, looks like a nice little cut.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Look at that
whatever that was.
finish. That finish is just, that kind of even looks like Koepka hitting a fade right there too. Same with that right foot.
Yeah, got the belly over there.
Yeah.
Everything got around. So JJ talked about how he creates a stable face, and he talked about the sensation of his upper arms staying with his rib cage through the golf ball. That was his. They asked for one big key to be able to drive it well, and he said that's his big key, is he feels like his upper arms, his armpits stay connected as his chest turns through the shot, and that stabilizes the face for him and allows him to hit his little cut.
I haven't hit this fairway. I think I hit it once with the driver all week.
Just watch the ball flight and just how low it comes.
My go-to swing thought is just turn left, rotate left, because that, as long as my connection with my kind of like my scaps and my armpits, I guess, if I rotate, that face is going to be still and it's going to slide a little right.
I noticed when you did that too, your arms stayed pretty level to each other. The right arm maybe slightly under the left. You didn't you didn't start flip-flopping. Yep.
No, like this through the hip. Stable.
I don't know, Milo. The more golf I watch and the more professional, especially nowadays, I think that I'm a big believer that stability is not talked about enough, and that this idea of releasing, rolling, squaring, I think it's ruined a lot of golfers throughout history in my mind. I think stability should be talked about way more.
I agree. I think that the better we can get at controlling the hitting zone, the better you play. And we see that, if you listen to all these guys talk, like we posted some Sam Burns stuff. He talked about how he stabilizes it. Same concept.
Koepka
Talks about it.
I mean, even that little nugget of Jack Nicklaus and Johnny Miller the other day was talking about keeping the face square longer down the target line. It's like,
Rory McIlroy talks about how he wants to keep everything turning through. He said for a lot of his career when he was younger, he would get under and then he would flip it. And now he's gotten better at stabilizing and neutralizing his path to face ratios, and he can hit both shots now. So I think there's something to it.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Click the link below to access my free 5 keys on building a rotational golf swing and learn how to swing like an athlete. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We'd love to welcome you aboard. And be sure to comment below and leave feedback so we know how we can better serve you. Thanks again. We appreciate all of you.